Hey, what's up, Rollerblade Virgin Gang? Hope you're doing well. I'm doing pretty good. Happy holidays, Merry Christmas, anything that is celebrated out there. Hope you're having a great one. There's a blizzard going around right now. That's pretty fucking awesome. It's basically feeling like negative degrees here when normally it's usually in the 20s or 30s. That's cool. That's just what I like to see. Walking outside and feeling like I got slapped in the face by fucking Jack Frost or something. It's a good time. Happy holidays. Once again, hope everybody's getting some good stuff. CGC responded, and that's kind of the big thing I wanted to talk about today. They responded to my last video. Remember the video I made where it's like CGC needs to respond to this? Well, essentially, they did. They put out a do's and don'ts for submitting cards to CGC. They had a couple things on there, such as the maxes of how many cards you could submit in one session, things like that. But the big one was do not chemically alter your cards in any way. And that was basically CGC responding in the best way possible. They did reply to me as well. They put out a nice little checklist for the same. It basically led to the exact same thing where they put that out. But they have basically put their feet down and been like, no, fuck this shit. Y'all are not altering cards. You're not putting mysterious splooge. You're not putting a little bit of splooge. You're not putting like the Ethan Winters liquid on our cards and just putting that stuff back. You're not kicking that stuff up to us. It's not going to happen. No way, shape, or form. And I applaud that. I respect that. I'm glad that they actually put that out there. Whether they enforce it in the future, whether certain sellers are able to just say, fuck the rules, I'm going to do what I want, I guess we shall see. But it's way better than what I was expecting them to do to begin with. Now, there are some people that are still making arguments about this stuff. There's people that are saying, well, water shouldn't be allowed if that's like a thing. And the argument that's being made is that water is a solvent. It's the universal solvent, if you will. Well, yes, but there's many other things that water cannot break down. There's many things that water just, it needs time, it needs exposure, it needs like many years of being rubbed on that stuff, as opposed to like alcohols and acetones, chemical strippers being put on things and immediately disintegrating stuff, right? And all these mysterious splooges, all these remedies, all this little snake oil that people are producing to put on your cards, not tested, not licensed, not really anything. It basically doesn't even resemble anything that's like a water. It looks like fucking candles. It looks like someone took some wax and just slapped it on some cards.
What is that? What the fuck is that?
And it has been shown that some of these actually do polish and basically fill in scratches or remove them. They don't really remove them. They fill in scratches chemically. And I mean, it's just, hey, a lot of this stuff was designed for sports cards in mind. Sports cards has been doing this stuff for a hot minute. I'm not in the sports card community. I don't know. Definitely go ask some of them about that stuff. But I do know a lot of those cards tend to have a glossy or protective layer, while most Pokemon cards do not. And that initial shine that you see on most of the vintage cards that people are putting this stuff on is ink, as previously discussed in the last video. I do applaud CGC for doing this. I do really appreciate them reaching out. I guess we'll see what's going on. Another argument that's being made is like the comic book industry has been doing this shit for years. Yeah, I don't really fucking care what the comic book industry has been doing. When we're introducing foreign substances homemade by somebody in their own fucking backyard, basically going to the bathroom and taking 10 minutes in a magazine to produce this stuff, and they're just putting that on cards, and you're supposed to take that, and they're charging $50, $60 for this stuff. Yeah, I would definitely call that something that you need to look into, and I want to see if CGC is going to uphold this. Maybe they're going to start making it so where certain people can't submit to CGC. I'd call it a community window. I'd call that fucking fantastic. I'm going to fucking just put that in the book, put it in one of the rare opossum dubs. You can have your opinions on it. Do whatever the hell you want. Do what you want, but it does seem like grading communities and companies are now trying to make sure that everybody is on a level playing field. My biggest thing with altering and putting this stuff on cards is always the transfer of card from one person to another. That additional person now has no say in what was put on their cards. Maybe in 2 years, 3 years from now, they're going to end up with like a bubble or like some delamination or like ink that's missing on a certain spot where people didn't actually use this stuff properly or test it, or it was never good for these kind of cards to begin with, and they've been robbed that freedom of choice. Basically like, oh, well, I didn't want this shit put on my cards, and people sell that stuff for the intention of people getting more money, making the cards look better, nicer presentation, easier to grade. Basically, the people that still have a problem with this are the money people. They're people like, well, this is my fucking business, dog. This is my fucking business. This is my life. I do this stuff. I sell cards for a living. Yeah, well, good for you. Do it fairly and do it the way everybody wants you to do now. Yeah, fuck your feelings. I don't really care. That's all I got. Appreciate all you guys. Follow the rules. Thank you, CGC, for responding. Enjoy yourselves. Stay safe in the blizzard, and happy holidays, virgins.